particular goods are something that, within the protection of the Dover Amendment and the exception that I keep misstating it, but is it, what is it called, Jeffrey, help me?
Agritourism.
Yeah, agritourism.
Just one question, if you
Yes,
don't
sir.
mind. Sorry.
Please.
If we don't talk about agritourism, just take that out of the equation.
Well, you can't do that because Mr.
Mr.
DeLuna will get
yeah.
very mad at
No,
us
I'm
because he
just-
thinks that's his legal
Yeah,
trump card.
just for the sake of having this one-day event. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because there's too much involved to settle that. Too much time will go by. It will affect our event. We probably won't be able to have the event. Those are the facts of the matter. So is there a way to still have the event that's in the best interest of the town, that is endorsed by the not by individual members of the selectmen, and the community as a whole, as a neighborhood as a whole, and just have the event, and then we'll deal with the big picture after the fact?
Well, that would, that sounds like an easy solution, but what it does, it would, unless there's an agreement between Thayer Nursery and Mr. Johanning and Mr. Rowe,
And Mrs. Lepore.
and Mrs. Lepore as to, what type of artisans could be there. And if you did that, that would be fine. The issue would go away. So,
Could we ask that question now?
well, of course you can, but I don't know that it's fair to,
You'll have to talk to my lawyer.
I don't know that it's fair to do that, but
In
as
the-
I say, there are certain distinctions that you can make. Maybe the knitting of woolen products and the sale of honey may be closer to a traditional nursery type.
I mean,
use.
ultimately, the board's gonna make the decision.
Yeah.
So, in your mind, can you give me a sense of what you feel comfortable granting?
And that being said, whatever,
That's not really a fair question.
yeah. What about the other
We didn't
event?
came to the hearing to make the decision. We weren't presented with an argument that the activities that we're undergoing are incidental and accessory to the customary nursery-related operations, which I thought was going to be the argument. And therefore, they fit within the permit. That's not what we heard. What we heard was, we don't have jurisdiction because it's within the limits of the Dover Amendment, which is like a huge issue for me and a huge issue for this board. In order to deal with that issue, which is the issue that's been presented to us, we just want some time to think about it.
Understood.
I get that it might impact you. I don't want to impact you. I want to make this decision, but we also have a duty to the town to do the right thing. And we can only deal with the facts that have been presented. I suppose we could consider it in the alternative, and that would really be the way to think about it. But that was not the case. That was not the testimony. So I don't know. It's a tough. The way you positioned the question is.
I'm just trying to come up with a
I
solution.
get it, but
for-
that was not the argument that was
Yeah.
brought to the board. So.
Yeah, but look, my hope is that we can continue this, let's say, for 1 week, depending on everyone's schedule. We'll be prepared to make a legal decision at that time, right, wrong, or indifferent. In the interim, if there's some way that some accommodation can be made between the parties, between let's say between Mr. DeLuna and Mr. Dunn, because they're the lawyers for the people, that would make some sense out of this, the board would jump with joy.
Tuesday, Thursday?
Could I ask one question?
course you
I guess we didn't know that we were discussing the Dover Amendment,
Well, we didn't either.
which is something we do not agree with,
I
and we
understand.
believe we have ample evidence to show that it doesn't apply in this case. Are we talking about that now?
We're
Like,
talking
in
about
the
this-
next meeting, would it be appropriate for us to bring evidence that shows that it doesn't apply? Or is the hearing closed?
Well, I don't think factually we need any more evidence. If Mr.
Well, it
Dunn-
either applies or it doesn't, and we don't believe it does.
Well, I
and
understand.
Mr. DeLuna believes it does.
Right, but,
So that's a matter of evidence, right?
No, it's a matter of, what's it?
You could give another written submission, right?
Well, he could. It's not a matter of evidence. All I'm suggesting is, number one, and I don't know whether this is true, certainly you should have, you or Mr. Dunn, and I'm not critical whatsoever for Mr. Dunn not being here tonight. He doesn't have to be here. He should have a copy of Mr. DeLuna's submission here, and particularly dealing with the issue of agritourism.
And we can get that from Mary, I'm sure.
There's only 3 copies, so I don't have one for the record.
Yeah, but what we'll do is, I'll give Mary my copy, and she'll make a copy for you tomorrow, okay? And you get that to Mr. Dunn, unless Mr. DeLuna is, Mr. DeLuna, are you still here? Okay,
The MDAR member?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
yes.
Okay.
Mr. DeLuna, are you able to get Mr. Dunn a copy of these materials sometime tomorrow via either email or express mail or something?
I'm not in my office the first thing in the morning, but
This is something
No, that's all right.
Perhaps we can get it from Mary, it may be easier.
Okay.
That way we know what
That's
will
fine.
be submitted to the board.
Right. Right, so you're going to get the copy of the materials submitted, plus this MDAR definition and all of that. You get that to Mr. Dunn, and if he's able to submit some materials to us before the next hearing date, we're delighted to take it. If you find that Mr. Dunn is busy next week and needs a few extra days, let us know. You know, when-
These are not laws, these are just articles and opinions. These are not laws in MGL, right?
Well, it looks like a regulation of,
Okay, that's all.
interpretation of what may be protected under statutes.
Okay.
So what day are we looking at?
Can I just have one more thing to say?
Sure.
I'm just wondering, because we are in the Christmas season, and I know there are a lot of other fairs around town. I know Wakefield Estate is having one, Fuller Village, Council on Aging, the golf course, St. Agnes Church. So are all of these entities going to have to come before you as well and get permission?
I don't know whether they're in a residential area. I don't know whether anyone has challenged what they're doing. We're dealing with your case, and we're not dealing with anybody else's case.
Joe, what would be your interpretation of that?
I'm not aware of any other fairs in town. I'm not aware of them, just as I've not been aware of yours for the past 12 years.
All right. Well, we can submit some data to you. We'll submit some data to you about these other
So
events.
I'll look into them all.
Thank you.
Mr. DeLuna, do you anticipate filing any additional information? Are you content with your papers here?
let me talk to the commissioner. The commission may wish to
Okay.
file something.
Well, let's do this. Let's look at dates. How about a week, today's what, Wednesday? No, but how about a week, how about Thursday of next week?
Is that planning board, Meg?
Planning board's the 9th.
Yeah, we're talking about the 5th.
My schedule is Board of Appeals tentative. That's one of the dates you asked many people. So I'm free. Jeffrey, how about you? Okay, we're all free on the 5th, Thursday the 5th, 7:30, same time and place. And if you get any materials, let's see if we can get the materials by,
2 o'clock.
really?
It's been at
How
4.
about Wednesday? Get materials by Wednesday the 4th, if we can.
Close of business Wednesday?
Sure, whatever. Yeah, well, our business never closes, but,
Bedtime reading.
Get that right.
okay. You all set? Okay, so we're adjourned until the Thursday, the 5th, at 7:30, same location, materials by Wednesday. Thanks for your attendance, thanks for spending so much.